factor evaluation portion of our project, and I'd like to start by taking you through what we did to get to the part of the presentation that you see here on the screen. The analysis started with the steeple analysis, and we used these factors and we pulled them from our steeple analysis, and then we assigned weights to them from 0, as you can see in the first column over here, and 0 is not important at all, up till 1, which is the most important and the most uh, issuing topic that we had to deal with as looking at Starbucks as a whole. And then we started to rate how urgent this is and how Starbucks is dealing with them according to the rank that you see here. And then the third total average, multiplied them together to give us a final weight and a total average. That way we can rank them numerically. So I'd like to start by looking at the first part up here, which is the rival and substitute of Costa Coffee, which provides a great substitute and rival to where Starbucks is hoping to be in the Europe region. So being a younger company like Starbucks, they have stated in 10Ks and 10Qs that they look to move and expand into the European markets. This can be very tough because Costa Coffee is already developed and taking the market share in this region, and they've already established themselves as what Starbucks is domestically to us. So for them to be able to take some of that market share might be difficult, and really get a leg and a foot in the door in that market might be tough. So we took the weight of uh, 0.05 and then a ranking of 3 to give us a total average of 0.15 for this specific rival and substitute header that we had. Moving on to the climate change, this is a huge political topic that presidential elections all over the world are discussing. And this is a threat because it could affect Starbucks' main coffee, which is the Arabica plant. And it's probably the only threat that affects the whole industry of agriculture. And not only is global warming and climate change an issue, but deforestation and the loss of potential farming lands that regions are using to just cut down and expand cities into. That could be a huge problem. So we went ahead and gave this a weight of 0.2 and a ranking of 2 because Starbucks hasn't really pushed this into the news enough, and the total average was 0.4, which was still significant amongst our rankings. So moving on to the third topic is the home brewing machines of Keurig and other similar devices that people can buy in their house. So to break down the cost, an average Keurig machine costs $200, and an average cup of coffee from a K-cup costs 66 cents. So taking that and setting it across the average Starbucks drink, which is $3.25 a drink, it makes sense. The break-even point is 77 cups of coffee. So after 77 cups of coffee, it is more worth it to use the Keurig home brewing system. If you are going to go through less than 77 cups of coffee and you prefer to just walk through Starbucks and get your order and have it a little more luxurious, then that's the way for you to go. But this is an obvious um, global rival, and it's quickly taking over the markets. And we took 0.15 as the weight, 2 is the 4 is the rank, sorry, and then that gave us zero point 0.6, which was very high on our total average. So moving on to the global substitute of tea. So tea is clearly an increasing market, and it's domestically gone up 12% as a commodity. So although Starbucks offers tea as one of its products, it's not the main product. And if people are choosing local tea shops and Lipton, for example, then this can be a huge global substitute. It's already kind of bigger in some other markets. I know Russia has a 70%. In a survey that they prefer 70% to 30% tea to coffee. So this factor is a threat, and then we gave it a ranking of 0.05, a weight of 0.05, and a ranking of 2 for a total average of 0.1. Moving on to the technological effects of agriculture, the farming industry provides a rural area with more efficient tools, so suppliers can push these products and better ways to irrigate their systems down to South America. And Starbucks came out and said that they've tried to push this technology into the suppliers that they provide for Arabica plants. So we went ahead and gave this a zero point 0.1 weight, a 4 rank because they've taken initiative, which gave us a total average of 0.4. Next, I'd like to touch on the home brewing topic of K-Cups, and what I mentioned earlier is as a Keurig product, except I'd like to think of this as an opportunity for Starbucks to break in and make their own K-Cups so people can make Starbucks tasting coffee in their own house. They've already done this, but it hasn't gotten the market and the feedback that they'd hoped. I think there's a lot of room to grow here, so we gave it a weight of 0.2 and a rank of 3, which gave it a total average of 0.6, which was reasonably high amongst the potential other headlines that we have here. And then moving on to one of their great strengths, and this is the loyalty reward program that they have. So this is just a very simple card that they give that you can build points on, and then you can get frequent user discounts and etc. So this is a great way to retain the customers that they already have and stop them from trying other rivals and substitutes if they can get better deals through this program. So this is a great strength. We gave it a weight of 0.05, and since they take such good initiative in it, we gave it a rank of 4 with a total average of 0.2. So moving on to a domestic threat of the potential substitutes and rivals that can infiltrate the market here in the U.S. So Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's offer the same products. Technically, if you're going for a basic coffee at a much cheaper price, this is a different demographic than what Starbucks hopes to target and their target customers. So it doesn't necessarily rival them exactly, but it is a very good substitute for someone who's just looking to get coffee in the morning and get to work for a cheaper price just through a drive-through with less ingredients, less flair, less care about the look and the sound of the coffee. They just want a basic coffee to get them through the day. So this is very apparent, and they've already kind of chipped into the Starbucks target. So we gave them a weight of 0.05, a ranking of 1 since Starbucks has never addressed this or tried to make a cheaper coffee, and then a total average of 0.05. So one thing that was very interesting was the second to last topic right here, the opportunity that they are using an external company to outsource their call operations. This is just a minor thing in their corporate structure that was taking up too much money in the CEO's opinion. So they're estimating to save about $5 to $8 million a year in outsourcing this call center. So we took the weight of 0.05, and since they're taking such great initiative to cut down cost, give it a ranking of 5, which gave us a total average of 0.25. And lastly, the opportunity to go more responsible and environmentally friendly. This is something that they started a campaign to get their more eco-friendly customers involved. This is more green cups, using less energy, and doing better partnerships with the EPA and FDA. So this doesn't really affect their earnings, but it is a positive outlook for their company. So we gave it a weight of 0.1, ranking of 2, which gave us a total average of 0.2. Also, I hope this did a good job of giving total averages and ranking the headlines as to us when we were looking at the company and giving a fair evaluation and analysis.